So we've been burning coal. The idea of this is now we're going to add some logs. So we were on left hand slide, we're now over here to the right because the air now can come out from the vent and it throws air over the top and it starts to burn wood. Now if you've got that much coal burning, you need a big log. There's no point putting something small in. Look, it goes in. Yeah, it does fit. There it is. It's in. It takes up most of the room. Let's put another one in. Look, it's a funny shape. It's got a bit sticking out of it. Turn it, squeeze it. It does fit in. Should get a tool to put it in because it's quite hot in there. The extra force of the wood, the heat that's going to come out of there, it's going to blast, is another way of heating up your oven. So here we sit now, just over 150 because it's been ticking over with our damper out. Let's push that back in. Let's see what happens. Because what we've done now is we've added what's a flame to it. The heat that's in there with the coal is going to combust these logs, incinerate them with that much air going through them straight over the top, and the heat is being held back. Let's see what happens when you burn wood. So 10 or 15 minutes more. Look, the big logs, well, they're just all burning well, decaying. Got the air coming from above, don't forget now. The oven's going up, look, it will soon be 200. This is about 10 minutes since I put them in, 10, 12 maybe. Everything's getting hot. So, we're using this now. What we're trying to do is get that oven hot. We're eating pizza tonight and it's not going to be long now before we put it on. It don't need to be roaring hot, it don't need to be round here. We're not roasting a pizza, we're just going to cook it. And 180, 200, perfectly fine. The air's still on, we haven't touched it. The damper's in, look, it's holding that heat back. We're just pulling that across. Couple of big logs. Just sitting there. We're not in any rush, we're not in any race. Now you could put, if you imagine there's 2 big logs we put in there, if you was to put 8 smaller ones and the air open racing through them, you get more heat because smaller fires, smaller logs burn hotter. Because they're burning quicker, they're burning hotter. This is just ticking over. We're not in any rush to eat. It's doing what it should do, and it's not going to be much longer before we think of putting food in. Now once the heat does increase, your flue temperature increases because there's so much heat in there that it has to go up the flue. You're always going to lose some, but even with that shut down, it's still shut. That's still open, look. There's still a gap at the back. There's always a gap there, which I don't get hit by the fan. There's always a gap at the back there because this plate is only a certain size. But the heat now, the travelling heat through the range, through the Rayburn itself, is heating all that up. That's where it's sending it to. That's where it's going now. This is hot as well. If you open this up, put a kettle on there, it will boil straight away. You've got your simmering one, you've got your lower oven. It's so hot in there. These logs are just ticking over and they're just sending heat. Now you could fill that with more coal. The idea of this is to show the difference of a big bed of coal and a couple of big logs. If that wasn't for the cooker now, and you had that turned down, which we'll do in a while, which is just going to be for heating, to keep your heating running, get all your radiators hot, that would just tick over now for hours, literally hours and hours, 4 hours probably. Wouldn't even think of coming back to it, but I would be pulling that out when it's for heating. So just to get the cooker going, up, open, in. In a little while, we'll come back. Not gonna be long now, look. Another 10 minutes maybe. That'll be over 200. We'll be ready to start thinking about food. So we've held the heat back now, burning our big logs. Look, we're nearly at 200. Damper's still in because we're holding the heat. Open that now because they're getting hot. Look, them logs are still burning. They're just sitting there, ticking over. Sending the heat up the flue, sending it across the oven. It's getting hot. But what we're going to do now is just give it a blast, because that's holding it back. The air's going in, it's restricted in there, still going up there a little bit. We're going to give it the last blast. Watch this. Pull it back out. Now what's going to happen now is that air is going through that intense heat. It's now going to blast all that heat across the top of the oven, because we're still on oven cooking only. Look, it's as up as far as it can go. So all of this heat now is going to come across the top of the oven, all here. It's not going to go up the back, it's just all here. It's across the oven, it's up the side of the oven, it's across the top, and it's going up the flue. That's just going to give us a quick lift, because all the heat we've made, the only place it can go now is across the top of the oven. So 5 minutes, look, damper was out, air's still on, haven't touched it. Blasted the heat up 200 degrees. And what it's done as well, it's just created a lot of hotter fire, coals burning red hot in the bottom, because with the even with the air open, with the damper shut and restricting the burn, you simmer the fire. It can't overheat itself because it's turned down. So with that out, what you're doing is letting that air in like from the start, and you're actually increasing it, making it all glow red. So if you left this in, if you left that in and you left that turned down, turned off, in the end the fire's just going to come to a smoulder. You're not going to achieve any heat, because it's not going anywhere, it's not doing anything, it's just sat. Yes, we've got some air at the back, so if that was down as well, if you haven't got that on and you've turned the air off and the damper in, you're just going to end up extinguishing the fire, because it won't have anywhere to go in the end once the air has been starved. And that's why every now and again, whoosh, give it a good bit of air, get some flow going through it. The temperature will rise, the flue will stay hot, the fan will spin. Coal, big logs, cooking. Happy Rayburning.